Shri Gurubhyo Namaga students, this is Mrs. Sri Vidya from Pun Vidyashram. Hope you would have understood the last session, the recap of last session, what we had read yesterday. We had read about the nutrition in humans. Nutrition in humans is holozoic. There are 5 steps in holozoic nutrition. What are they? Ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and adhesion. Yesterday, we had read about the first 3 parts. What are they? Can you guess? Mouth, tongue, and we learnt about teeth. Today session, we are going to read about food pipe, small intestine, large intestine. So, let us again recap the last session. What do you mean by ingestion? Taking in food is called as ingestion. We read about mouth yesterday. In this slide, we can see the glands which are associated with system are salivary gland, stomach walls, liver, pancreas, and intestinal wall. What is a gland? Gland is an organ which produces and releases substances that perform a specific function in the body. What is the role of a salivary gland? It converts the starch-rich food into sugar. Then stomach wall. Which juice is secreted here? Gastric juice. Liver. It is the largest gland situated at the upper part of abdomen on the right side. Liver secretes bile juice, which we are going to read in the upcoming slides in detail. Pancreas, located just below the stomach. The next, discuss about structure of stomach. So, a stomach is a thick walled bag. Its shape is like a flattened U or J-shaped bag-like structure. Can you able to see in this picture? It's a stomach and you can see the food pipe or esophagus. Please note down this term, esophagus. The other name of food pipe is called as esophagus, and the food is passed from the mouth to the food pipe, and via the neck region it reaches the stomach. About this stomach we will be reading in the upcoming slides. And about the stomach, what all the other things which we can read is, yesterday I said you a long tube which is running from mouth to the anus. That's called as alimentary canal. Now let us discuss in detail connecting the mouth and the stomach. It is about 30 centimeter. It has a powerful muscles which gently push the food down to the stomach. The esophagus contracts and relaxes in the rhythmic fashion to facilitate the forward movement of food. This movement happens in other parts of the alimentary canal as well as in the esophagus also, and it is called as peristaltic movement. There is no digestion takes place in esophagus. In general, from the mouth it reaches the food pipe. The other name of food pipe is otherwise called as esophagus. What do you mean by peristalsis? You have to read this definition from the slide. Next, again we'll talk about this food pipe. It is a long tube starting from throat and connecting mouth to the stomach. Food from the mouth reaches the stomach through esophagus. The movement of the food along esophagus and alimentary canal is helped by the rhythmic contraction and expansion of muscles lining the walls of the food. That is called as peristalsis or peristaltic movement. During this movement, the food is moved by squeezing of muscles from behind, pushing the food forward. Saliva, it is little alkaline. Hence the food from mouth passing through esophagus and reaching the stomach is alkaline. This is carried out by the salivary gland. Next, let us learn in detail about stomach, which we had seen the picture in the previous slide. It's a muscular bag. It's a flattened U-shaped or J-shaped organ. It receives food from esophagus. Which juice is secreted in the stomach? Gastric juice. What are the secretions present in the stomach? Mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices or gastric juice. So, the mucus protects the lining of the stomach. In the stomach, food is mixed with gastric juice and hydrochloric acid given it from the walls of the stomach. Gastric juice helps in the digestion of proteins. Stomach works like a mixer and a churner. Everybody knows about in at home we have mixer and a churner. It churns the food into a simpler form. Now let us discuss about the food moves from the stomach to the small intestine. So the complete digestion will takes place in the small intestine. Small intestine is highly coiled and it measures about 7.5 meters long. It receives secretions from liver and pancreas. Besides, its wall also secretes juices. As I said before, it's a long tube, 7.5 meters long, and also there are three parts in the small intestine: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. Though small intestine is very long, it is called small intestine because it is quite narrow tube. Small intestine is arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. The small intestine in human beings of complete digestion of food. This is very important point. The small intestine is also the main region for the complete digestion for the food. The next, let us see about the liver. Liver is a reddish brown gland situated in the upper part of the abdomen on the right side. It is the largest gland in the body. Liver, already I said in the previous slides, it secretes bile juice. Where it is stored, where the bile juice is stored, it is stored in gallbladder. The bile plays an important role in the digestion of fats. Next is pancreas. It's a large cream-colored gland located just below the stomach. The pancreatic juice acts on carbohydrates and proteins and changes them into simpler forms. The partially digested food now reaches the lower part of the smaller intestine. So, absorption of digested food in the small intestine. The digested food is absorbed by the walls of the small intestine. This process is called absorption. In the small intestine, you can see in this picture several finger-like projections called villi having blood vessels. What is the function of villi? The villi helps to increase the surface area for absorption, which is very important question. What is villi? Write its function. You need to mention finger-like projection, its function. It increases the surface area for absorption. The absorbed materials are carried by the blood to the different parts of the body and it is used by the body. The absorbed substance are transported via the blood vessels to different organs of the body where they are used to build complex substance such as the proteins required by the body. This is called assimilation. The next, in our cells, glucose breaks down with the help of oxygen into carbon dioxide and water, and energy is released. So, the complete digestion takes place in the small intestine. What are the important points we saw here? It's a long tube. Small intestine is a highly coiled 7.5 meters long, and it secretes two juices, bile juice and pancreatic juice. Bile juice is secreted in which organ? Liver. It is the largest gland in our body. Pancreatic juice is secreted by pancreas. All these we had seen in the small intestine. And two important points we have studied here: absorption and assimilation. The digested food now pass into the blood vessels in the walls of the small intestine. As I told you in the before slide, this process is called absorption. The inner surface of the small intestine has millions of tiny finger-like outgrowths called villi. The presence of villi present in the inner walls of the small intestine. What is the function of that? It increases the surface area for the absorption of digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels called blood capillaries close to its surface. The surface of villi absorbs the digested food materials into blood flowing through them. Now, here are the interesting questions. Here you have a value-based questions. Our ancestors used to say, and also the elders at home used to say, we should not talk or laugh or eat in a hurry. Why? It has its own scientific fact. Let us all obey the words of our elders. What happens while we talk during eating? Food particles enters the windpipe. The windpipe carries air from the nostrils to the lungs. It runs adjacent to the food pipe because windpipe and food pipe shares a common passage. So, if we laugh, the food will go into the windpipe. But inside the throat, air and food shares a common passage. During the act of swallowing, a flap-like valve closes the passage of the windpipe and guides the food into the food pipe. Food particles enter the windpipe. We feel choke, get hiccups or cough. Now we can have this interesting session how the stomach involves in the digestion. It was discovered by a scientist called as Alexis St. Martin. Was badly hit by a shotgun. The bullet had seriously damaged the chest wall and made a hole in his stomach. He was brought to an American Army doctor, William Beaumont. The doctor saved the person, but he could not close the hole properly and left it bandaged. Beaumont took it as a great opportunity to see inside the stomach through the hole. He made some wonderful observation. Stomach was churning food. Its wall secretes a fluid which could digest the food. He also observed that the end of the stomach opens into the intestine only after the digestion of food inside the stomach is completed. Hope you would have enjoyed this session. Let us all come to the interesting facts and concepts with the next session. Thank you, children.